AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR from the garage. Gordon McKernan's podcast studio here in Baton Rouge. We certainly appreciate Gordon and the team hosting us over here today. And for the cookies, Hellmers, I went with a... Yeah, I ate a cookie, all right? Leave me alone. I need your judgment here. Not William Schmidt trying to gain 20 pounds out here drinking smoothies. If I want to eat a cookie, I'm going to eat a cookie. I intermittent fast. The only thing I've had all day is a salad. Went to lunch at Phil's. Shout out. Anthony Piazza. Great lunch. Salad with a little grilled shrimp on top of it. And so now I'm having a cookie. Your judgment Helmers sitting over there. 24 years old with a great metabolism and whatnot. 24? 23 years old. A great metabolism. Whatever. Yes. Oh, there's an 8,888 Jell-O shot hat in here somewhere. I think it's back. Alondra, can you go to the wide? I think it's over there. Can you go to the wide shot? There it is. Right there. There it is right there. Anyway. I love this space. This is a great spot, man. Shout out to Gordon. The garage is an awesome place. So happy to be here today. Glad to have you aboard with us. Gordon will be with us here at the garage in an hour, and Hellmers is going to jump aboard with us about 15 minutes to talk a little LSU baseball. Every year before the college football season starts, Athlon has a piece that they do where they ask coaches under the condition of anonymity to talk about other teams and programs and what they think. And I always find that interesting, and you just have to give a little bit of grace, understanding that you don't know who's saying it, but you trust that Athlon is a credible enough organization that when they say an SEC defensive coordinator or an ACC head coach, or that it's actually who they say it is anonymously. And so whenever I see things like that, it's interesting because when you do give people the opportunity to speak under the condition of anonymity, generally they're going to be more forthcoming. And it's why you have, just think about it, at your work, you have an anonymous poll or anonymous survey at work, you're generally going to be more honest and forthright than you would if you have to go stand up in front of your entire company and tattle on someone, right? Whatever. So this is interesting because On3 effectively did the same thing, but they talked to 14 Power 4 front office personnel. 14 Power 4 GMs and staffers is how they phrased it. And they did the same thing. Gave them the condition of anonymity to sort of dish. And naturally, LSU was a very common talking point in this exercise. 10 of the 14 mentioned LSU as the top spender. I don't know what the other 4 were watching throughout the transfer portal period, but LSU adding 40 players, including 3 of the top 5, absolutely spent the most money of any program in the transfer portal, and I don't even think it's particularly close. But there were some that said that multiple spent over $40 million on their roster. One SEC general manager said, quote, they got the most expensive roster in the sport. A Big 12 general manager said they're definitely at least $40 million. I'll tell you, they're over $40 million. And Gordon will be here in hour 3. We'll talk a little bit more about this. They mentioned Texas, Texas Tech, and Miami as the other 3 programs that were the big spenders on par with LSU. A Big Ten general manager said, quote, Texas Tech just knows they can outspend you. What's interesting, though, about Sorsby, and so that was their big ticket item, right, as they signed Brendan Sorsby. And they signed Sorsby to a very lucrative deal. But I think what's so interesting about the Sorsby deal is, we were at the Bear Bryant Awards in Houston a few weeks back. And if you missed it, we were able to interview Joey McGuire, the Texas Tech head coach there. A great event, by the way. We will go back to that every year. They were so hospitable. And, I mean, all these coaches just came and sat with us in interviews. They were scheduling them for us. It was incredible. But McGuire talked about that Sorsby deal. And, the feeling here at LSU was that when Sorsby came, that it wasn't necessarily in good faith because they felt like he was that his deal with Texas Tech was already done. Well, Joey McGuire effectively told us it was, but Sorsby took the LSU visit because he told LSU he was going to visit. And so he wanted to honor that. And so he came and took the visit, and LSU rolled out the red carpet and did everything right. But ultimately, Sorsby did end up at Texas Tech. His girlfriend got an NIL. I think she's a volleyball player or something, if I remember that correctly. She got an NIL deal there as well. But this was the interesting part as it relates to Sam Leavitt. A GM who was in the mix for Leavitt, so you could look at who those programs were, Tennessee, Miami, said, quote, that price got driven up big time on Leavitt. And I told you before that LSU paid a tax on Sam Leavitt because of what happened with Damon Williams. Leavitt was on the visit. LSU wanted him. He wanted LSU. They were going to consummate that deal. LSU kind of took their eye off the ball when Damon Williams was going to go in the portal. Leavitt got very upset and left, and then Lane Kiffin had to flew to Tennessee, to Knoxville, to sort of re-recruit Leavitt and landed him. But LSU paid a tax on that number. So it went higher than initially what they thought. And ultimately, one GM said it got close to that Sorsby number. As far as non-quarterback transfers, one GM said of Cam Coleman, remember Cam Coleman, the Auburn receiver who hit the portal end at Texas, quote, Cam Coleman had a blank check from us. This is from an SEC general manager. Quote, trust me, he wasn't going to Texas for less. He got paid a ton. Now, I will tell you that one GM said Coleman's deal was over $2 million. What I was told was that Coleman's ask was $3.5 million. And would LSU have wanted Cam Coleman? Absolutely. You needed receivers. He was the best one in the portal. But did it make sense to go spend $3.5 on Cam Coleman or take, say, $3.5 and go sign 9 receivers with that amount? That's ultimately what LSU did. I don't know if the total LSU spent was $3.5 on receivers or more, whatever the number was. But the point was they weren't going to justify that spend on one receiver. Now, quarterback, a left tackle, an edge rusher, you could see where the evaluation comes into play and where they prioritize positional rankings with Billy Glasscock and Lane Kiffin. And it's not at receiver, at least spending that much on one receiver. As for Seton, an SEC NIL operator, how it was phrased, said, quote, Jordan Seaton's numbers give me heartburn for what's coming next year. Quote, I've heard anywhere from $3 to $6 million on him alone. I think $3 million I can wrap my head around. Anything more? No way. Again, Seton, we know when he first went into the portal cycle, the talk was that the opening bids were 2.5. Like you weren't having a conversation without 2.5. So it's fair to say 3 is where it started. What did LSU pay? I don't know what that final number was. But again, it's no different. You've got to look at this like you approach the NFL draft or NFL free agency. Where are you willing to set the market? Meaning what position? Quarterback? If you're the Chiefs, will you set the market for Patrick Mahomes? Yes. Will you set the market for an edge rusher? Will you set the market for a left tackle? Yes. Will you set the market for a safety? Probably not. Will you look at how that worked for the Saints with Jarris Byrd? Would you set the market at receiver? Probably not. Would you set the market at running back? No. So you look at the positions where it's worth spending that money and others where you think you can get value. It's pretty clear it's what LSU did here. They spent a ton. Quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher. Got the best one in the portal at those positions. Three of the top 5 players in the entire portal class. But I really think what time will tell us with this LSU transfer portal class is where they got value throughout this 40-member class. And that may start to show itself and really reveal itself next year when you look at who they were able to retain from this portal class, who come back so you don't have to go sign 40 guys again next season. Talk more about that with Gordon when he's here in a little less than an hour. All right, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Of course, our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. So remember, they can help you buy your farm equipment as well over at Sunshine. But if you want to buy that land, that 1,000 acres for agriculture, that recreational property for hunting, maybe a great investment property. Maybe you're thinking of buying 100 acres in St. Francisville to build your family's dream home, or have all of your family build multiple homes on the same property so you can all live together and near each other. First South Farm Credit can help make that dream a reality. Just go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Baseball Tigers starting the season 8-0. They're back at the box tonight, taking on McNeese, who are coming in from Lake Charles. Former LSU Tiger Justin Hill, of course, in his 13th season leading the Cowboys. They'll be at the box tonight, 6:30 first pitch. Former Tiger Will Hellmers has been hanging out over there eating all the cookies for like the last hour and 15 minutes. He'll join us here next. We're at the garage, and we're powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
Hey, if you're thinking about selling your home, call Darren James and get your home sold. I've been telling you that for 16 years, but as long as I've been doing AFR. And I get asked sometimes, hey, when you talk about that program with Darren where he'll sell your home, guarantees he'll sell your home, or he'll sell it for free or buy it if he doesn't. Is that real? Yes. It's the Guaranteed Sale Program, or as he affectionately calls it, the Guaranteed Sale Program, where Darren will sit down with you. You'll do a full market assessment, look at what the value of your home is, what the comps are in the market. He'll say, this is what your home should sell for, and this is how long it should take based on all the comps in the market. And so you sit down, you'll agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he will have your home bought with cash, or he will sell it for free. You got nothing to lose. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. On the Wall Street Journal's list, the top 1% of realtors in America, the best realtor in Louisiana. Nobody moves more homes than Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Little dust, just look at her face. She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Big shout out to our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Yes, lawnmowers and agriculture, but they also sell small construction equipment. It's Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com. sunnyquip.com. We got to get Will Hellmers up on a tractor. You ever been on a tractor?
I sure have.
Really?
A John Deere green tractor.
I mean, are there any other kind of tractors that anybody would ever want to get on in life?
Not that I know of.
I can't. Like, why would anybody, if you're going to get on a tractor?
Let's pick green, not orange.
Yeah.
No need.
I mean, are there even other ones? I mean,
absolutely not.
Why would anybody do that? Why were you riding a tractor?
There's been multiple instances. Doing farming some land, tilling some crops.
You're from New Orleans. I just don't believe that's what you're telling me is true right now. It feels like a lie.
I would never lie, especially not on air.
Again, I don't believe you. So why were you on a tractor?
There's a hunting property up in Mississippi I go to, and I've learned to use the tractor to plant grass, do everything, till it up, plant the seed, use a tractor for that.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
You also played baseball at LSU.
Sure did.
3 years under Jay Johnson.
Yeah.
Give me some early impressions. 8-0 for these Tigers.
I love it so far. We talked before, like offensively, I'm impressed. like seriously impressed. You know, everybody in that lineup can hurt you. You know, from 1 through 9, and obviously there's different guys that, you know, Jay likes to do sub in, sub out, you know, in the early parts of the season. But everybody that, you know, he's subbed in there can really hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I wasn't expecting the long ball, you know, to be such a threat, but it is so far. And obviously, you know, you got to take into account that they've faced some pretty inferior pitching as to what's coming in the SEC. And, you know, you take that into account, but, you know, still it's tough to hit that white ball.
How would you so knowing this team can hit 1 through 9, how would you attack that lineup if you were pitching against them?
Great question. It's
Thanks.
tough. Myself, I mean, you want to try to establish your fastball, but you have to, you know, with this team, they've been so disciplined at the plate. You know, you got to throw. You can't throw too many strikes to them, first of all, because they're going to punish it. But at the same time, if you're throwing balls, they have great plate discipline so far, and so they're going to walk. Like, this is the most walks, I think, of any J team so far at LSU. And so that's really impressive. And honestly, it's a tough team to pitch against.
I haven't seen a stat like as far you're talking about through 8 games, most walks through 8 games. Yeah. I mean, they had one where they walked 14 times
14
against Indiana. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's probably going to tilt.
That might skew it a touch.
Tilt the numbers a bit, but I think to your point, one of the things that I referenced this yesterday on the show, Will, because Jay said something. I need to go pull this clip, but it was after one of the games in Omaha last year. It wasn't the championship game, but it was one of them where he said, you know, I'm paraphrasing. You may know exactly because it's probably something he told y'all. What is
sure.
it? It was something like, you know, winning at LSU will always be the goals of winning at LSU will always be more important than the individual. It's something along those lines.
You always place the needs of the team above your own.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly. So it's something he's told y'all a million times
from the day he got here.
Of course.
Right.
So when I look at how this team has handled their offensive approach, it feels like a team offensive approach, which hasn't always been the case under Jay. No. But it's hard because a lot of these guys have next level ambition. So sometimes you want to swing at that close pitch when actually what you should probably do is let it sail off the plate and take your base and let the next guy knock you in.
Yeah. There's something I've noticed that too. Like even with, it's funny you say that, like a few weeks ago before the season even started, Gordon and I took our NIL athletes. We got 11 baseball guys, took them out to eat, took them to dinner, nice dinner or whatever. And just the way they get along at the dinner table, that's, you know, and it sounds so silly, you know, coming, you know, like that, but that goes a long way as to how you play as a team together. It really does. And so I've noticed it, you know, and being a former player, like I've been around, you know, some great athletes. And like you said, like it's not it hasn't always been about that for Jay's teams. Like you kind of get like the Tommy White, who's like, man, this dude could hit a homer every time. You know, that's kind of his like job or whatever. And with this team, it's like, hey, I'm gonna get on base whatever way I can to get the next guy up here to do his job, and then the next guy and it's just the chain reaction kind of thing. Yeah. And I think it's really special to have that, you know, so early on.
I don't think, and just to clarify, like I don't think you're saying that that was like Tommy White wasn't being a team guy.
Oh, no.
I think what you're saying is like he just had the ability, like he knew what his role was in the offense. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But do you think, like, if you go back to 23, for example, the championship team, that team obviously had Dylan Cruz and you had Trey Morgan and Tommy White. I mean, you had elite level star players. Right. I don't know that I would argue that team could hit 1 through 9 like this one can. So what was, just to contrast it, you remember like what those conversations was as far as a team offensive approach that season?
It's always
was it just like get on for Dylan?
Sometimes. I mean,
get around to Dylan.
There's a reason why he's at the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
You know, it's because he's going to hit the most, and there's going to be people on base a lot of the time. And so it's very similar with Jay. It's kind of a tough spot, I guess, because the mentality is the same, but the players you have are going to, you know, differ in each year with what you do. So you get a guy like, you know, Cruz, Beloso, Skeens, and Dugas in 2023, and it's like, man, these dudes can really do some damage on their own. And then you look at this, and it's like, well, these dudes can do damage, right? But then, down the whole line, it's kind of they just work together a little better. It's kind of hard to explain.
No, I get it.
But I think the mentality is the same throughout, both teams, and has been. Jay's an offensive guy, and so that's his mentality. Is we're going to score as often, early and often was always his thing.
They've done that really well
Extremely.
so far this year. Will Hellmers is here with us in studio. We're at the Garage, Gordon studio. We'll talk a little bit more about this place in a second. But how do you think they've? How do you think, based on what you've seen, that might translate against SEC pitching?
They've struggled against the starter a little bit more than I would like. They can get to that second pitcher, but what happens when that second pitcher is just as good? Like in the SEC, they will be. There's probably not an SEC arm, an SEC team that doesn't have guys that, 10 guys that aren't throwing 95. And velocity is not a big deal, but the stuff is better. They can locate. And so I want to see them, maybe get to that starting pitcher a little earlier. And that's another thing with Jay is like, hey, we want to get the starter out as early as we can. And that becomes even more important in SEC play. If you can get that starter out of the game, that's a big deal. So I'd like to see them, get on the starting pitcher a little earlier offensively. Besides that, like if they can continue to be super aware at the plate and take really good quality at bats, like I know everybody hears Jay say, like this team's taking quality at bats, like great consecutive quality at bats. Like if you can continue to do that, I don't care who you're playing, you're going to manufacture runs. Yep. There's just no way around it.
I want to jump back and talk about LSU's pitching here for a second as well, because it's. I think we'd all like to see Paul Skeens. I think we all also realize like that's not real.
Yeah, unicorn.
I mean, yeah, it's. When people say, "Is he the next Skeens?" No one will ever be the next Skeens.
There's nobody who will be. Just and from a totally like just his friend, like he's one of my best friends. Talk to him all the time. There is nobody on earth who's gonna work like that dude, and nobody who's built like him. Like he's a freaking horse. Like he just is, and everything that he does, and the way that he operates, whether it's eating or drinking water. There's people don't operate like that, like he does, and so there won't be another Paul Skeens. But nobody's going to come close.
Yeah,
it's just from the starting pitching side, I think was what you were getting at. Am I correct?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. From the starting pitching side is I've been impressed a little bit. Like last weekend, you had 3 guys go 5 innings plus. On Sunday, you used 2 arms. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't care if it's early in the season or not. I want to see Case and Evans. We talked last week about Case and Evans in the Friday night role. I don't know if that's where he stays. I don't know if that's where he's best. He's obviously showed a lot of promise out of the bullpen last year. But Cooper Moore has been outstanding. One of the best pitching performances at LSU that I've seen, pitching wise. He's not going to throw 99. But just the way that he locates and can command 4 pitches for strikes throughout 6 innings is super impressive. And so you got some starters there, and it kind of develops like it does every year. For as long as I was there and long before that, and it's going to be like that every year. It's just kind of the way it rolls. Is you find your guys throughout the season, throughout SEC play. 2 starters kind of emerge, and they'll fall, and it's a wave, but. You're going to find those. It's really 6 to 8 guys that are going to get you through the season. It's been like that for, 6 years.
Yeah. It's been like that for as long as LSU has played baseball. I mean, Skip Bertman would always say that by the time you get to Omaha, he's going to identify 6 or 7 guys, and those are going to be the ones.
And look, that's every team. Like there's nothing crazy about that. But you see what happens. It'll develop how it's supposed to, just like it does, and all the talent's there. And all the stuff is there. That's why we recruit the best in the country.
What do you think is Nate Yeskie, like the last 2 years, despite the fact that you go in with an idea of what you think it's going to be, seldom does it finish like it starts. But what's consistent is the last 2 years they've led the country in strikeouts, and right now they're on a torrid pace. To what do you attribute that?
Pitch calling is a huge deal, and Coach Geske's a great pitch caller. Like I had 4 different pitching coaches at LSU. Coach Geske was the best pitch caller by far.
Why?
It's just there's certain way for me, and that may be totally different for another guy who went through LSU. But for me, he was the best pitch caller because I felt like he understood my stuff personally. He wasn't just calling the regular game. But he understood what my pitches were doing against this batter to then excel me to strike that dude out, and that's why he's good at punching dudes out. And it all goes back to a lot of the fall training. Like, they aren't just striking other teams out right now. They've been striking out dudes all fall, and these are also the best athletes in the country that they're striking out. And that was for 2 years that Geske was there. Like, we struck out more dudes in the fall than ever. It was just kind of like, what's going on? And so I think it's a lot about the pitch calling. It's a lot about his mentality that he instills in his guys. All 19 or 20 of those pitchers are all on the same page of like, hey, we're going to strike people out and not walk dudes. Like, and you're going to walk more people just because you're trying to punch more dudes out, which is how it rolls. But you want the punchies, man. Like, that's the fun part, and you get younger guys that are doing it now. Like, you saw it on, I guess that was Saturday. 2 freshmen, they came in, walked a couple guys, and then came back with some huge strikeouts. Bases loaded and in another, tough spot. Like, they came out with some good strikeouts. And you learn to punch dudes out. You're going to do it in clutch situations.
Hang on. I got a break, but I want to pick up on this because you actually just touched on something that I understand fundamentally, but that I disagree with. So I want to go. Right. We'll go to that when we come back. I want to talk about Louisiana Loaded, a lot of stuff. Will Hellmers hanging out with us here. We're at the garage, Gordon's podcast studio. Gordon's going to be with us in 30 minutes here as well. So we're looking forward to that. Of course, our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Before we break, quick reminder about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com with locations all over South Louisiana. If you need tires, you want the best tires at the cheapest price. It's that simple, right? You want the best tires, and you want to get them at the best price. I mean, it's a commodity. Like, if you buy a Michelin tire, there's a million places that can sell you a Michelin tire. So where can you go to get that tire at the best price? Well, that's always going to be Shawbill's. They guarantee it. They have their 125% price match guarantee. So if you buy a tire at Shawbill's and you find that tire advertised cheaper somewhere else, they're going to refund you 125% of the difference. They just guarantee they're going to give you the best price, and they're going to treat you like family. It's Shawbill's. Find the location nearest you, schedule service, or shop tires at ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbill's, where we keep you rolling. All right, Will Hellmers is here. We're going to knock it a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little more LSU baseball. I want to talk about something that I actually just disagreed with Will that he said. We'll dive into that. LSU baseball tonight against McNeese. We'll get you a preview. We'll talk about Louisiana Loaded. A lot to do. Glad you're here. It is AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. We got down into the 30s last night. A week ago, it was 87. What is that? Well, it's Louisiana. That's what it is. And you live here and you know it and you love it because that's why we live here. Not why we live here, but we live here and we just know that's how it's going to be. So your AC, your heater, it's going to take a beating with this weather. Make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air if you have any issues with your heater or with your home central AC. Give them a buzz at 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air just like I do. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, so Will Hellmers, former LSU pitcher, is hanging out with us here. What are you doing?
Man, I'm having.
Oh my! Do you need help? Give me that. Give me. I'm
not a tech guy.
No,
I'm good now.
You don't have to be a tech guy. You just have to
just basic knowledge.
Oh
I lack.
My guy really was struggling with those headphones. You ever seen Next Friday?
Yeah.
You know when when Mike Epps is trying to get his shorts on. That I'm saying, he's like, and then Ice Cube's like, "You all right with them shorts?" Like, "Quit worrying about what I'm doing." Like, just couldn't put shorts on straight. That's what that looked like. Like you were fumbling with something that seemed like a very basic human task.
Yep, I hate hearing that.
That's okay, but it's funny.
It's a daily occurrence.
It's funny, and we got that on
Great.
camera there.
Just
So
would love that,
Everybody
man.
watched it. You should be watching and seeing the beautiful studio here, the garage. You do a show here at the garage?
Sure do. Yeah, we just started a Louisiana Loaded podcast. We're doing it every week, Thursdays. About to start doing it Sunday nights. A little extra feature there. So feel free to tune in. You'll have a special guest every week. We had Ben McDonald, Verge, Doug Thompson. We're going to have a lot more.
YouTube,
Spotify, podcasts, anywhere you can get a podcast, it'll be on there. So
Louisiana Loaded.
That's
Check
it.
it out. Go
Let's
subscribe.
get loaded.
You are you going to Omaha again this year if they go? When they go?
Yes, absolutely.
You going to drive that Jeep again?
There may be a new Jeep.
Oh, we have breaking news?
No, I can't break it yet, but there's a possibility.
You want to tell the story behind this? So I think a lot of people probably saw that. So we're in what was literally the garage of this building.
This is the garage.
That they converted into a podcast studio, why they call it the garage. And the Jeep that Hellmers drove to Omaha, that kind of became a focal point last year of the College World Series. Like riding around Omaha, you saw it on social. It's the Tiger painted.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah, it's the Tiger painted Jeep. You drove that thing.
So do you actually think that I drove it to Omaha?
Did you not? Was that not the story I heard?
I did not.
Okay, good. How did it get there?
We shipped it.
Oh, God
I should have
bless.
just told you I drove it.
You should have. So you
flew. Should have kept that going. Yep.
Man,
flew there.
It feels like that is
shipped it
not
there.
shipping. That does not feel like a cost-effective way to get that there.
No comment.
Ain't your money.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So you just rode that thing around Omaha.
Drove it around Omaha. Had a great time, obviously. Plenty Jello shots, and we Tigers win. We took one of the highlights of my trip. Tigers win. The afternoon game party. We're gonna go party, right? And so the guys over at Rocco's are like, "Hey, like, you want to take some Jello shots to them? Are they gonna come here?" They're trying to figure it out. I'm like, "Look, man, just give me a bunch of cases of Jello. Let me load it up in the Jeep, drive it to the team hotel, and let's get loaded. Let's get Louisiana loaded."
Yeah.
And so we go over there, do that, pass out. Can't even tell you how many thousands of Jello shots to the parents and fans.
That is not where I thought that was going. I thought you were going to say, like, the open container laws in Nebraska are dramatically different than Louisiana. You're
come
driving
on,
around with
man.
Jello shots.
Not open. They're sealed. Sealed.
Okay.
Jots. Check them out. Sealed Jello shots.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's different.
Yeah,
That's
totally
different.
sealed.
Okay. All right.
We are law-abiding citizens.
This is we're in an attorney's office.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you that I disagreed with you on something.
Great.
You said something to the effect of that. You love the punchies. You want the punchies, right?
Yes.
You make your point again, so I don't miss it.
As a pitcher,
Yeah.
I love punch-outs. Straight up.
Yeah.
So what's your thought?
I think I love a one-pitch weak grounder to second more than 8 pitch at bat that results in a strikeout.
Well, absolutely.
So that's my point.
Okay. Well,
I don't really care about strikeouts. Strikeouts are fun.
Strikeouts are
I'm
great.
super not interested in unless if you've got the bases loaded and less than 2 outs and a ball in place, probably scoring a run. In that instance, I would really like a strikeout.
Right. Yeah, okay. As a pitcher, you love strikeouts just because it's a strikeout. Like,
Yes.
you love punching a dude out with the bases loaded.
You want the punchies.
Yeah, you want the punchies,
But
which
I
is
say
cool.
yes. However, that's where we can go to the team concept over the individual.
Yeah.
Where the punch out's awesome, it looks great on the stat sheet, but you know what looks better? Like 7 1/3
For sure.
instead of 3 2/3 where you're exiting at 91 pitches, but you have 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, there's 1,000% you're right. And I'd much rather that. Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Look
go,
at me.
Go ahead. Go
Look at
ahead.
me.
But punch outs are cool.
This guy, they are cool.
They're cool.
We agree.
And that was my main point.
Yeah, we agree.
Punch outs are cool. Like, it's seeing Paul Skeens strike out
No doubt.
14 dudes is awesome.
Ty Floyd was 17 in the College World Series.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that also got you very deep into the ball game.
Exactly.
Which was great. Okay.
Yeah.
Tonight, LSU against McNeese at the box. First pitch is a little less than 2 hours away. What would you like to see tonight? I guess Zach Cowan's going to start. He didn't pitch this weekend.
I would like to see him start. That was going to be one of my points. I would like to see Zach Cowan start and do better than last midweek because he's a great pitcher. He's got a great changeup, the best pitch in baseball, and he can be great out of the bullpen for LSU. And as a starter, I think he can be a great starter. And so I'd like to see him start tonight for sure. And I'd like to see it, Jay, Yeski, whoever, let him go a while. If he can, if he's able to. And just, I'd like to see them continue to be a team, and that's a main thing is like they're playing so well together right now. And just watching it, as a former player, like they're laughing in the dugout, they're smiling, like it's just a game to them. And when you can have that as a team early on, you're hard to beat. You're gonna face adversity. You're gonna lose games. You will not win 56 games. It's not gonna happen.
Blasphemy.
Oh, come on.
I saw LSU Shreveport do it last year.
Okay, fair.
I think they actually won like 59.
59.
I think they were 59-0. Was that the number?
Extremely impressive.
By the way, I know I'm joking. Like,
oh yeah.
That's insane.
Oh, it's unbelievable
To not lose a game.
I don't care who you are. You can be the Yankees.
The 27 Yankees lost like 37 times.
The Yankees playing LSU are going to lose at one point.
I mean, like Southern has beaten LSU in baseball.
Yeah, we got no hit by Nichols in 2023.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God, right? Right. No disrespect to Nichols or Southern or anybody.
Not
it's just
at all.
like you're talking about, like that could never happen in football, ever. There's just not a reality where that would ever happen in football, but it can happen in baseball.
It can happen.
There was something else I was going to ask. It went away. Oh, that's it. If there's a weakness right now on this team, what do you think it is? Something you'd like to see them work on and get better?
Great question.
Thanks.
Man, that was quick. Real quick.
I'm just waiting on it.
I'd like to see starting Friday night get a little better. That's your statement. When you're playing at Alex Box or even away, like let's come out. As a starter, as a starting pitcher, is what I mean. As a starting pitcher, like let's make a statement. Let's go freaking 4 innings, no runs, like something just like that's making a statement for how this is going to go the rest of the weekend. That's what I'd like to see. And it's not so much a weakness, like it's there. Like we all know it's there from a talent standpoint from Case and Evans. If he stays, you might see Cooper Moore shift to Friday sooner rather than later. There's a good chance on that.
I love what Jay said after the game on Friday when he said they told Evans, look, you're a closer. Go close the first inning and close your outing. And then be consistent in between. I love that approach. That made a lot of sense.
There's so many, like, this is a weird, if you remember Javen Coleman, my freshman year when he pitched at Oregon. I don't know if you remember that, but Javen could not start a game to save his life. Mm-hmm. And it's totally opposite, but Javen, we'd have a guy, I did it once. I went out there through 1 inning. Javen came in through second inning through the 8th. He just couldn't start a game. Like there's some people that just can't do that. And so, the mentality or the way to maneuver around it or the mindset around it is an interesting way to look at it. I think it's a great way to look at it for him, especially.
I'm just not worried after 2 weekends.
No.
We've not approached
No, it's still too early.
We've not approached the point of being concerned about it. Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating, man. Baseball season's here. I know you do too. I mean, you played it, but it's the evolution. I say it all the time, but the season is an evolution. The 56-game evolution of watching the ball of clay at the beginning of the year be molded into whatever that finished product is going to be is awesome. And you're going to lose games along the way. You're going to lose series along. It happens. It's baseball. And people don't like the explanation that it's baseball, but it is. That is the explanation.
Right.
But it's why you either love that game or you don't.
It's special. Man. Yeah. It really is. It's a special sport.
You're a special guy. It's Will Hellmers, former LSU Tiger. He's got a ring.
Sure do.
Got himself a ring, didn't he?
Sure did.
Louisiana Loaded. Check it out. Podcast, YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate you for hanging out. Are you hanging out the rest of the show?
I'll be here.
Look at my guy hanging out.
I might have to hop on with Gordon.
Are you okay? Are you coming with me to Fred's after
6:30? You going to be there? Yeah. You know what? I'll hit Fred's and then I'll go to the game.
Love that. Yeah, we're on right at first pitch. I know that probably should have thought of that better, but we're doing a charity thing, and I'm excited to do it.
Sounds like a great time.
I'll have the stream on. They'll have the stream on at Fred's, and I'll be over there.
It's in the Antler Room?
In the Antler Room at Fred's.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's
but
awesome.
You don't remember Fred's pre-Antler Room.
Yeah.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're old enough.
Yeah, I was around for Reggie's.
Okay.
Monday nights at Reggie's.
There's people listening or watching right now. Some of you are talking about
just turned it off.
No. When Reggie's was sports, and before that, Sports Illustrated, and I was even something before that. So that whole story, was Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
The magazine may have changed the name and all this stuff. Anyway, all right. It's after further review. Let me knock out our final break here of hour number 2. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers and the Pros next day here at AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day, buy local, shop local with our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. Hey, look, I love whenever Miss Teresa tells me, she's like, we're just in a just plant something mode, which is so true, but it's also funny to hear that. Like, just plant something. Doesn't just go buy something and plant it. Like, that's where we are right now. It's time. Like, we're moving towards spring, so go to Clegg's. If you're not sure what to buy, that's okay. They have horticulturists there who are so knowledgeable and so friendly. Like, one of the things I would do, when Eric and I bought our first home, I would take pictures of our flower beds, the front of our home, and I would say, okay, based on like the shade and what direction we face and like what needs a lot of TLC, which I'm not really getting very good at, like what should I do? And they'll say, well, you want this, 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 and then you pick what you like. They're the best. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
You're sexy.
Here. All right, I had to throw that headphone cable over my shoulder. All right, it's after further review. We're back, wrapping up hour number 2. Gordon's going to be here. The Eagle has landed. So Gordon is in Baton Rouge. He's going to be in studio with us actually about 5:15. So we'll do a couple segments with Gordon. So we're looking forward to that very much. We'll also get to Auto Locks at the end of next hour. We do it every day about this time. Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Start with some updates from spring training. Paul Gervais for the Los Angeles Dodgers today. A scoreless inning of relief. Struck out 1, didn't walk anybody. Allowed a hit. He's off to a nice start for his spring. How about Chase Shores? New Tiger in the Pro. Throws a scoreless inning of relief for the Los Angeles Angels. 1 inning. Did not allow a hit. Did not allow a walk. Also didn't strike out anybody, but a really nice start for Shores in his spring training, the first spring training, I should say, in big leagues. Jake Fraley, a couple Tigers here with the Rays. Jake Fraley goes 1 for 2 today with a double. Also drove in 3 runs. Young spring training for him. He's hitting .333. Hunter Fiducia, our guy, goes 1 for 3 for the Rays as well. Got the start there at catcher. The one was a home run, 3-run shot, so 3 RBIs for him. He's hitting .200 on the young season. Quick note from Tari Eason a night ago with the Rockets. It's a double-double for Eason. 32 minutes, 11 points, 10 boards in the game. Also added 4 assists, plus 7 on the night. And then news out of the NFL Combine surrounding Patrick Queen. Queen going into his final season of his deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. When he signed that deal 2 seasons ago, he was the most expensive free agent signing in the history of that franchise. Was thought to be a potential cap casualty here in the offseason heading into 2026. Cap hit $17 million, base salary $10 million. But their GM, when speaking with the media today, Omar Khan, said, yeah, that's not going to happen. Patrick Queen's going to be back, and they expect him to contribute here with this new coaching staff. He'll be 27 years old by the time the 26th season rolls around. That's Tigers in the Pros.
By the Williamson Eye Center, call 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 with offices all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Remember, it's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. Eye care, go have your annual eye exam. Eyewear, if you wear contacts or glasses, need to get that prescription upgraded or filled, Williamson Eye Center. And of course, eye surgery, refractive procedure, no matter your age or refractive issue. Another way to say that, maybe it's LASIK, maybe it's PRK, maybe it's EVO ICL. That's the implantable contact lens. That's an alternative to LASIK, and it's completely reversible, by the way, as well. The custom lens replacement. There's something for everyone. If you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can help make that happen. So call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here from the garage. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We're not going to quick break. Gordon McKernan will be with us on site here in about 20 minutes from right now. So we'll get you caught up on national headlines from Sports Center, and we'll come back. Mel Kiper has put out his mock draft 2.0 in advance of the scouting combine. And then there's a ton of NIL stuff I want to get to with Gordon when he's here with us. That's Hour 3 coming up next on AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com for Arco Power Systems. You know, we talk about industrial generator power when we talk about Arco, and they're turnkey. It's a very important point when we talk about Arco. Remember, they can sell, service, install, rent that Generac industrial generator. Think about it. We all know that people are encouraged to install home standby generators at your house. Storm comes. What do you do when the power goes out? Well, your generator kicks on. That's a great alternative to sitting there without power. What about for your business? What do you do for your business? For many of you, your business, you can't afford for your business to be offline. So how do you fix that? Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, an awesome Louisiana company. Home base is on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, but they service all over the Gulf region. Arco.com.